Historians call him the single most destructive organism in Earth's history, a brilliant scientist who single-handedly poisoned our atmosphere, only to meet his end inside his own twisted invention. In the 1920s, an engineer named Thomas Midgley Jr. wanted to fix a massive problem. Car engines were loud and inefficient. His solution? Adding lead to gasoline. It worked perfectly, making engines quiet and smooth. But there was a deadly catch. Lead is a neurotoxin. Soon, workers in his factories began suffering from hallucinations, going mad, and dying. The public panicked, and medical experts screamed for a ban. But Midgley refused to let his multi-million-dollar empire crumble.
To humiliate his critics and prove the world wrong, Midgley called a massive press conference. In front of a crowd of skeptical journalists, he did something insane. He poured the leaded gasoline directly over his bare hands. Then he held a bottle of the toxic fluid under his nose, deeply inhaling its fumes for 60 agonizing seconds. He smiled at the cameras, completely fine, claiming he could do this every day without a single scratch. The headlines shifted. The critics were silenced. Midgley had won the debate, or so he thought. Behind closed doors, the reality was horrific. Midgley was secretly suffering from severe lead poisoning and had to take months off just to recover. But the damage to the world was already done. Decades later, his leaded gasoline, along with his other invention, CFCs for refrigerators, had ripped open the Earth's ozone layer and lowered the IQ of entire generations. Then the universe struck back. At age 51, Midgley contracted polio, leaving him completely paralyzed. Unable to move, but still fiercely proud, he refused to let anyone help him get out of bed. He used his engineering skills to build an elaborate system of ropes, motorized pulleys, and steel cables suspended right above his mattress. He boasted it was his finest machine, allowing him to lift himself up automatically. But on a cold morning in 1944, the machine turned against its creator. As Midgley activated the controls, the heavy cable slipped, wrapping tightly around his neck. The paralyzed inventor could not fight back, strangled to death by the very wires he designed. He spent his life mocking the warnings of nature, only to die trapped inside his own creation. Do you think Midgley's tragic end was cosmic justice or just a tragic coincidence for a man who genuinely thought he was helping the world? Drop your perspective below and lock into the channel for our next classified file.